Hello everyone, this is Arafel. I'm back with a bit of Jill of the Jungle. I have finished out the trilogy, but there was one more thing I wanted to highlight that I recently found out about. There is a level editor built into the game. At the main menu, if you press Control E, E is an elephant, you go right into the level editor. You can start editing the title screen by default. And there are a list of commands that are available on the Dust Game Modding Wiki, which I will link to the description. But as a simple demonstration of some things you could do, if you press L for a load, you can type in a file name of one of the Jill levels, and it will load that level. This you may recognize as the starting map for Jill of the Jungle 1, the first actual stage, not the map. And you can see up here, there's the epic bonus, there's that Jill icon, there's the apples off to the left that you can't get to on this stage, because one of the things that Jill 1 in particular does frequently is it will put multiple stages on a single map. So stage 1 starts here, but if you go down, there's actually this whole other stage where you start somewhere to, stage 7 is on the same map as stage 1. You just start here instead of up there, and you get your spinning blade, go through the whole stage, get the Firebird transformation eventually where you can fly up there, and get to these apples and see stage 1. Which may have something to do with why there is the Jill thing here to transform back, but the two levels are not actually connected directly. You can't pass from one to the other, so maybe it's just decoration, maybe it's just an artifact of something they were considering. I'm not really sure. As you can see, there's this pitfall over here that I found very mysterious. There's this thing here which seems to indicate the trigger target that makes the bridge appear, but if you come down here, there's nothing in here. You come up here, there's nothing up here except this other target, and if you come over here, there's this thing which apparently activates the triggers, makes the door close here and the bridge extend here, but it doesn't seem to be linked to anything else at all. So as far as I can tell, even looking in the map editor, that's completely pointless. This can let you load from the other games as well. So if I go to, what was it called? Map.jn3. This is the map stage for Jill of the Jungle 3. Of course, this assumes you have all the games in the same directory with all the files there. But yes, I've determined that I was misremembering. You cannot get to these Pac-Man ghosts over here. They're just kind of there as a decoration. I may have been confusing it with some stages where you can encounter them, and also with the big maze down here that you can go into and have to. Alright, the title screen is called intro.jn1, 2, or 3, depending on whether it's game 1, 2, or 3. I'll just demonstrate a few of the other keys. Arrow keys, unsurprisingly, are what will scroll your cursor around. Also, unsurprisingly, there's not much to the enter stage screen, but if you come over here, you see some of the other stuff. There's the demo that will play if you let the game run on its own. Again, they like to stick things together on maps, especially if there's not much actually there and it's not interactive. You can press K to select the tile under the cursor, space to paste the selected tile. If you want to select a different tile, you need to press enter to load a tile by name. There's a name list stored in one of the files. It's rather inconvenient. I suspect that when they actually designed the game, they had a list available. But here you can just press K to copy, space to paste. You can extend that there, put a little more fine. Okay, I noticed the music stopped at some point, so I went back to the main menu to get it started again. Anyway, you press O when you're on top of an object to go into object edit mode. Here you can press A to add an object, D to delete the current one, K select, P to paste, O to move, M to modify. So if you press M to modify here, you'll see this text is of type text 6. Changing these will affect things like appearance. and suddenly the text is now a different color. Change that to 2. It's now green. And if I change the text inside, I can actually start typing on here. It now says this demo is shareware. You can also, of course, add objects. If I want to put something here, I can press O, press A for add. And let's say apple. And there's an apple. There's a list of object names on the wiki, which again I will link to. And you can press S to save. I'm first going to make a backup of this map so I can go back to it. Okay, I'm back from that. I will now save this to intro.jn1. And of course this is covering up the apple because I wasn't thinking about that, but you've pressed Control P. You can actually play the intro stage. There you see you have this demo is shareware now in a different color. You have this apple here. You can pick it up. It works. Obviously, you were not meant to actually walk around on the intro stage, but everything works as you'd expect it to. Okay, I've added a few more things to the intro stage here. There's a bouncing spinning blade to the right. That is your projectile, which is what gets added if you try using the spin blade item from the object name list, which you might expect to add the spinning blade that you can pick up. But that's not how it works. If you want actual power-ups of that sort in the game, you have to add something of object type token, as is indicated on the wiki, and then change the CNT number to something to get what you want. I now have a spinning blade. If I go over here and run into this Firebird, unsurprisingly, Jill takes damage. And the spikes kill you. Also, this doesn't have a properly defined starting location, so you just respawn from wherever you died, apparently. Okay, so after going into the game and coming back to the menu to reset the state of this, if I start playing, first I'll grab this to make sure the message doesn't get interrupted, but this weird shield item here, it's an unused power-up. I'm not seeing the message that I expected to see, but that apparently protects you from enemy damage. I ran into the Firebird died, but Jill took no damage. Spikes will still kill you, though. Another interesting thing I came across in the power-ups, there is this spider icon. It appears to be an incomplete and unused spider transformation. If Jill runs into it, it tries to do a transform thing, but doesn't know what to turn her into, apparently, and you're just soft-locked. So, yeah, it's interesting that the concept is there, but they just never finished it. It doesn't work. Yeah, if you want to check this out, this is built into the game itself. You just press Control E to go into the editor. More keys and information are on the modding wiki, which I will link to in the description. And this is a fairly recent discovery. They only found it in, I think, 2011, where the game itself was released in 1992. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting discovery. If you ever feel like making your own Jill of the Jungle levels and want to, or are willing to deal with the kind of non-transparency of this, because of course there's no official documentation available. The unofficial documentation is fairly incomplete, but it does work, it's usable. If you want to play around with it, there you go. This has been Aerophile with a little extra from Jill of the Jungle. Hope you enjoyed.